Hey Alice, just thought I should let you know that my sister is staying with us starting next week. So prepare something good for us to eat, okay?
Wait, what? What do you mean she's staying with us? Did I miss something? For how long is she going to be here with us?
She's going to be staying with us permanently, of course. Starting next week, she's going to be a member of this household.
She's going to live here permanently? You're kidding, right? What about her kids?
They're going to be staying with us as well, of course. Where else will they go?
You do remember that she has 5 kids, right? There's no way we could handle this increase in members.
That's all up to how much work and effort you're willing to put into this situation. You could finally raise children like you always wanted to. Aren't you happy? Don't you like kids?
I do like children, but to suddenly push 5 kids onto me without any preparation is impossible to do. I can't handle a sudden change like this.
Jeez, all you do is say that everything is impossible. Can't you try to do something for once in your life? You said that there's no way you're getting pregnant, and now you say you can't raise kids? So then what can you do, huh? Instead of complaining all the time, maybe you should do something useful.
That's easier said than done. What does your sister say about all this?
Of course she agreed to it. If anything, Alyssa said that if you're struggling with infertility, then she is more than happy to give you the experience of raising children.
What about Tate? Is he okay with all of this?
Yeah, he's okay with it too. Don't go calling or texting him about this though, got it? He and Alyssa are going through some things right now. Do you get what I'm saying?
Going through some things? Did something happen between them? Are the kids okay?
This issue is between Alyssa and her husband. This means that you have no need to know anything about this. Butt out.
You say that, yet I'm going to have 5 of their children to take care of in our house starting next week.
My sister, out of the kindness of her heart, is allowing you to raise her kids when you can't, and yet you're being ungrateful and complaining.
This doesn't feel like a heartfelt gesture, but rather an action of pity from someone who thinks they're better than me. Either way, this isn't something I can handle. I'm sure the kids are also going to be stressed from the sudden change of environment.
I've had enough of this. I will not tolerate any more complaints coming from you. I can leave you anytime I want. You aren't a necessary person in my life.
How could you say something like that to me? Do you understand the words you just said to me? Who says that to a person, let alone their wife?
Well, you're jobless and your family isn't that well off either, right? You would be in trouble if I were to leave you, right? I have the divorce papers signed and ready to submit at any given moment. If you don't want that to happen, then you can shut up and listen to what I tell you.
What's gotten into you? Don't you think you're being a little too harsh right now?
Harsh or not, it's true that in order to survive, you need me. You need to wake up and look at the position you're in. If you understand what I'm saying, then hurry up and start getting the house clean for our new members. I only want the best for my sister's arrival. Oh, and also make sure you learn how to raise kids properly.
This is completely messed up! How do you expect me to do this?
That's not my issue. I'm starting a new side job with my sister. We'll make a huge profit with it, so you can look forward to that.
I was hoping you could pick some things up from the store for me.
What? Oh, sorry. I'm too busy with work right now. Could you just go do it?
I'm sorry, but I have my hands full right now. I don't mind if it's just from the gas station around the corner, so could you please go?
The gas station? No way. Those places are really expensive. We have 5 children that we need to raise, so you at least have to think about budgets and all that.
I get that, but still...
If you understand, then you can go to the grocery store no matter how busy you are. I don't mind if dinner is a bit late. Although I can't say the same about my brother. Either way, do your best. Okay?
I would like to go too, but I have some cleaning and laundry left to do. Or if you could just hang the laundry out to dry after I finish, that would...
Sorry, I don't think you get what I'm saying here. Let me explain to you so that you understand what's going on here. I'm not relaxing here. I'm working in my room. The house chores are your job, right? You should be doing your job on your own.
If that's the case, then could you at least look after your kids? Could I ask you to pick up your kids from school?
Sorry, but I haven't done my makeup or finished my work. So could you pick them up on your way from getting groceries as well?
Their preschool is on the opposite side of the grocery store. There is one near the preschool, but...
Oh, no. Don't go there. That place is expensive. Make sure you go to the cheaper place that we always shop at.
That's exactly what I was thinking of, so if you could just...
As a housewife, you should be able to properly manage time and money. That is part of your job as a caretaker. Well, good luck. If you need any help, just let me know. But don't waste my time with things you could easily take care of.
Right, okay. Thanks.
Could you knock it off with the complaints? You finally get to raise kids. This is what you've always wanted to do. Your life goal is being fulfilled. You could at least be grateful for this opportunity.
It's great to look after kids. But you or Alyssa haven't helped out at all. You guys pushed all the house chores and childcare onto me. I can't bear all the responsibilities. Recently, your sister has been ignoring anything I say.
So, she and I are doing important work. How else do you think we're able to have meals on our table? Do you think that just magically happens?
Well, I'm aware of how we have our meals, considering I'm the one who takes the time out of my busy day to make our meals.
Stop with your excuses! We're busy! It doesn't matter if it's a weekday or weekend. We're always working. You're just a wife. All you need to do is shut up and do as you're told.
How dare you have such an old-fashioned mindset in this day and age without any shame?
Either way, all you need to do is shut up and take care of the house and kids. We're living with my sister and her 5 kids. Your task is to take care of all of us. A childless woman like you has nothing better to do, right? If you have any complaints, then we could easily get a divorce.
But we're already divorced? That's why I'm complaining, duh!
Huh? What are you talking about?
I submitted the divorce papers a while ago! So you and I are no longer a thing.
Wait, what? Are you serious right now? Hang on. You're serious. The papers are gone!
Everything going on was way too much to handle. I couldn't stay there any longer.
You may have gotten one over me with this divorce thing, but you're still going to be the one to suffer since you're no longer my wife. You're a jobless housewife with barely any experience of the working world. You can't even afford to pay rent. How are you going to survive? Did you even think that through?
No worries, I can take care of myself. Besides, anything is better than dealing with all of that.
Is that so? Then what are you going to do about the kids? Are you going to leave these kids behind and leave on your own? That's so selfish of you to do that. They like you, and yet you abandoned them.
It's all fine. Tate is going to look after them. So there's no need to try and guilt me into regretting my actions.
What? Did you contact him after I told you not to do that? Why would you do that?
Of course I did! I have to double check with your sister's husband. After all, he is their father. However, from what I learned, your sister stole money from him and is on the run. She took their kids and ran so that she could use them to her advantage to prevent him from calling the police.
That idiot went too far.
You guys really are the worst. Using innocent children as hostages and using our house to protect her. I can't believe that you had me involved with that as well.
Don't believe anything Tate is saying. He's a lunatic who's framing my sister as a criminal.
He didn't seem all that insane when I was talking to him. If anything, your sister seems like the crazy one here. As well as you, Trent, you're just as insane as her.
Causing us unnecessary trouble. I need to tell my sister what's going on immediately.
What are you trying to pull here? Why'd you contact Tate? We told you not to talk to him, didn't we?
Well, I was in a troublesome situation, so I had no other choice. Plus, the kids all seemed terrified of their mother and kept saying how they wanted to see their father for the past 2 weeks.
This is such a pain. How could you be so useless?
You're on the run after stealing money from Tate, right? I won't say anything negative about you, but I do recommend that you hurry up and turn yourself in.
Turn me in? That's pretty dramatic. Besides, what's wrong with a wife spending her husband's money?
I see that you're trying to turn this on me. Anyways, he's apparently aware of your infidelity as well. You can run and hide all you want, but eventually he will pay for someone to tail you.
Shut up. Who do you think you are? You brainless good-for-nothing. Whatever. You can go tell Tate that this happened because he's extremely weak-willed.
Oh, you should tell him yourself. He's currently waiting downstairs at the apartment garage. You can't run now.
Huh? Why is he here? Why are you taking his side? You barely even know the man.
Rather than being on his side, I'm just extremely annoyed over your siblings. Plus, I feel bad for the kids. I need some type of justice to be served or I just won't feel better. He just happened to be a factor in the process of dealing with this situation.
You've got to be kidding. Do you know what you've done? This is bad. It's all over for me.
You reap what you sow, I think is how the saying goes.
Shut up! You're not making this any better.
I wasn't trying to. How much longer do you intend to run? Your sister got caught, so you should hurry up and turn yourself in. You're only making things worse for yourself.
Why should I? I did nothing wrong. That job I was doing was something that my sister showed me. I didn't know that an illegal service was involved with it. I'm a victim.
Is that so? So then, what about when you were telling me how you're going to be profiting greatly from this job?
Well, that's because Alyssa was telling me how much we'll benefit from the job. I heard that it may have been a little sketchy, but I didn't think it was criminal level.
You weren't aware, even though you were working.
Exactly! I was tricked!
So then why don't you just turn yourself in and explain that? The more you run, the more your argument loses value. Like I said, your running away is only making things worse for yourself.
There's no way anybody would believe what I would say.
Either way, the police will investigate and easily find out that you were aware of what was going on. There's no point in telling me all of these excuses.
I had no other choice. I got fired from my last job.
Wait, really? When did that happen?
About 2 months ago.
Why didn't you tell me?
There's no way I could tell you about how I got fired due to the company downsizing. I tried to look for a job immediately, but it didn't go well. That's when my sister was telling me about how she knows a job that has a bit of a risk, but we could get good money from it. She was having some trouble with Tate, and so we both needed money.
Something like downsizing should have been discussed with me. Well, you always were a prideful person. The reason you wanted to have a kid with me was because you wanted the status of having a proper family, right?
Everyone else around me had a family and was benefiting from it. It's because of you that I was unlucky enough to get fired during the downsizing. They told me that since I don't have a kid, they couldn't prioritize my spot.
Are you seriously placing the blame on me? Do you ever take responsibility for your actions?
Yeah, I'm blaming you for this. If you could have just gotten pregnant, then we wouldn't have been in this position.
Have you ever considered that maybe if you had gained the trust and built a better relationship with your peers, then maybe you could have kept your job? Your former coworkers were all excellent employees, so you making the excuse that you got fired due to being childless is pathetic. You're a pathetic excuse for a man. You need to hurry up and face the reality of that. If I'm being honest here, you were the most troublesome to take care of rather than those 5 kids. A few days later, Trent was spotted walking along the road where he was questioned and eventually arrested by the police. The organization that he and his sister were working for was apparently selling knockoffs at a higher rate than they were worth. Turns out the man Alyssa was seeing was the leader of said organization. Also, it turns out that Alyssa and her boyfriend had planned to eventually force Trent out of their schemes. This means that Alyssa was using her brother's love for her gain. I'm sure the betrayal that Trent felt after he found out was immeasurable. Alyssa and everyone involved were found guilty of theft crimes and were sent to prison, leading to Alyssa's kids having moved in with Tate. With the help of his parent, Tate is taking care of his 5 children, and on weekdays I look after them, which is great for me as I've always loved children. It helps that they're so well-mannered children. I'm living a much better life now.
Hey, you no-good, grubby little leech. I want to know just how long you plan on surviving off of all my dad's hard work. Don't you realize we'd all be so much happier if you just got out of our lives? I haven't heard from you in so long, and this is the way you break the silence? I feel like you've been completely ignoring me around the house as well, you know. I really don't know what's gotten into you, but I'm starting to get a bit sick of it. I mean, you're not even cooking the meals that I'm making for you anymore. And just who do you think you are talking to me as if you're my real mom, huh? You really need to remember your place in this family, you parasite. I'm sorry that you don't like the way I worded things, but I don't see how anything I said was false. I don't care what's true and what's false. I just know that I want you out of our lives. I really don't understand. Why are you coming to me and saying all of this all of a sudden? It's not so sudden for me. I know that my dad and I are going to be just fine on our own. We don't need some outsider leeching off of my family's wealth anymore. I'm sorry you feel this way about me, but maybe you should talk about these feelings with your father first. Then maybe we could all talk about this together with each other. Maybe your dad would even agree to move out and take you somewhere. And just why would my dad have to do something like that, huh? It's his house. If anyone should have to leave, it should be you. I really think that you should talk to your father about this before we carry on with this talk. Besides, I make $100,000 a year. What am I leeching off of anyone? I think you just want me out of the house is all. But what I don't get is what you think you're going to gain by doing so. What am I going to gain? Well, that should be obvious. I'll finally be ridding my family of a disgusting parasite that's been living off of us for years. Even Dad is getting sick of having you around. He's always talking about how he has to work all day, but you always spend all of his money. Meanwhile, you hardly leave anything for him to spend on himself. Did your dad really say that? Even about him having to work every day? Well, it's true, isn't it? You're always coming and going to and from the house whenever you want, but Dad only ever goes to work and comes home, and that's all he has time for. And it's all your fault. You keep a short leash and don't let him live his life the way he wants. I hate what you're doing to him. Tina, I really think that you need to get a grip and reassess the situation. And I don't say that for my sake, but for yours, okay? Just what do you know, huh? Don't pretend as if you know what I want. I know that you're a selfish woman who only ever does things for herself. That's why I want you out of our lives forever. I am trying to tell you that you're making a mistake here. You really need to go and talk to your dad about this. He can explain it all. Let me go and talk to him for a moment, and then I'll come back to you, okay? Can you please just give it a rest already with what you say to Tina?
What the heck are you talking about? I don't really care, but can you lend me some money? I'm almost through my budget for the month, and I need more! Come on! You know that you don't give me enough anyways. Just give me a little more!
You want even more money? What happened to all that I gave you already? How did you spend it all so quickly? Anyways, we're going to be talking about money after I say what I came here to say. You need to have a real conversation with your daughter and tell her the truth about what's going on. The more you put that off, the worse my relationship gets with her. I am tired of her talking down to me, insulting me, and treating me like an idiot because of you, Todd. I am seriously starting to reach my limit. Do you understand me?
I don't know what you want me to do. She's your daughter now, too, you know. Go be a good mom and learn how to control your children better.
Control her? Todd, she's already 17 years old. This isn't about controlling her, it's about giving her the information she needs to make her own decisions about life. You have to stop lying to her and telling her false information. She blames me for every single problem we have. It isn't fair that I should be the one taking all of the heat because you don't want to step up and tell her the truth. All of this would be solved if you weren't such a coward.
I will talk to Tina about my life when I'm good and ready to. Okay?
No, not when you're ready to. Now. You've been saying, when I'm ready, for years now. Don't you realize how this is affecting us as a whole family?
Yeah, of course. I know all that. And if you just give me a little more money, I'll really think about saying something. I promise. Now come on. I'm seriously down to my last few dollars. You've got to give me something.
You really are just the worst. Do you realize that, Todd? Hey there, Anna. I see that you've left for the day. You know that you don't need to bother coming back home ever, right? And just what is that supposed to mean? And since when did you start calling me by my first name? I mean that if you're already out of the house, you should stay out. All you do is make things worse, so just keep away. If you have something you want to say to me, why don't you just come out and say it? Well, I actually sent off the divorce papers for you and Dad. That means that you and him don't need to live together anymore. Dad and I are going to live together, and you'll have to go and figure out your own life. So you really did send the divorce papers for your father and I? And just how did you manage to get away with doing something like that? Well, you probably had no idea about this, but Dad had already printed out the divorce papers and kept them in his desk. I happened to see where he put them one day when he tried to hide them from me, and so I dug them out while he was away. I saw that he had already signed his name all where it needed to be. I really do need to thank Dad for being so prepared. So then you sent out divorce papers that your dad had already signed without telling either of us? I have to say that I am shocked at you. And since you don't even have a job, you probably won't be able to find a place to live now, too. I warned you that you should do a little more research into this before acting, but are you sure you really want me out of the house? Of course I am! This is what I've been waiting for forever! I feel like I'm having a dream come true! I'm finally getting to squash the horrible leech that's been on the side of my family for years. I feel at ease. It's like a great burden has been lifted off of our shoulders and the sun has come out after a rainy day. Just the thought of you being cold and homeless on the street is bringing me so much joy! Well, if this is what you really want, good luck, I guess. The one who's going to need luck is you! Whatever you say. I guess I'll take my leave from the house then. But I just have one last thing that I think you should know before I leave. And what last pathetic words do you have to say to me? I'm not the one who doesn't have a job. That would be your father. Wait, what is that supposed to mean? I mean that you said your father told you that he goes to work every day. That's a lie. All he does is spend his days at the casino wasting our money. Wait a second, you expect me to believe that? That's just ridiculous. Why would Dad lie to me about working? And why would he be spending all day gambling? I suppose this really is the first you're hearing about all of this then. But it's true. I'm afraid that everything your father said about me was just to protect his own reputation in your eyes, Tina. I don't get what you mean. This doesn't make any sense. Why would he need to worry about his reputation with me? I don't know. You should ask what he would have to gain by belittling me in front of you like he has been. He wanted you to take his side in everything. And you fell for it like a sucker. You defended him no matter what I tried to say, and you believed every lie he told you about me. No, this doesn't make any sense. You better start explaining yourself right this moment. In that case, one other thing you should know is that no matter how much your father put me down, he never wanted to throw me out of the house. And yet little did he know that he was pushing you to do just that to me with all of his lies about me being jobless. No, this can't be right. You're just trying to lie to me because you realize that you're getting kicked out. Well, I'm not listening. You're just some crazy old jealous loser. You can believe me or not. It won't really make any difference. But the truth is that I was giving your father money every month. He hasn't made his money in a long time, and yet you listened to everything he had to say about me. You really don't know when to stop all this, do you? I already said that I'm not listening to a word that you have to say anymore. Again, you are more than welcome to ignore all that I'm saying, but quite frankly, I've had enough of you two as well. But soon you'll be an adult, and you'll have to take responsibility for taking care of yourself. And then you'll have to choose whether to keep living with your father or go out on your own. I've actually learned how to take care of myself for a while now. We don't need you in our life anymore, so just beat it. Well, okay. But you do realize that if I leave, that means I won't be supporting you or your father anymore, right? There you go again, making up more lies. What support have you ever given? You really think that I'm going to fall for that? You act like you've given Dad and I everything when all you've done is taken. I know you're lying, so just stop it already. I'm not trying to upset you, Tina. I really am just trying to warn you. I just hope you don't regret what you're doing. Just shut up already, you old hag! Don't pretend like you're all that when you're really nothing! I never, ever want to see you again. You were never my mother, and I'm glad you're gone. Don't ever think of me as your daughter again. As of today, you're nothing to me. We are complete strangers. Okay then, I understand. I am not your mother, and you are not my daughter. Now, please don't come to me for anything else. Hey! Pick up the phone when I'm calling you, you stupid old witch! Can't you tell that your daughter is panicked? I'm sorry, but I'm in the middle of work right now. Besides, I thought that you said you were going to stop calling me. But you were telling the truth about everything! I know that. What of it? Well, so now I finally know that you were! Please, you have to come back home to us! Dad is so mad all the time. I need your help! I really have no idea what you're talking about. Besides, I don't even have a daughter. What do you mean? How can you say that? I didn't. You did. You told me to never think of you as my daughter again. So I'm sorry that you're having a rough time right now, lady, but that doesn't have anything to do with me. Anyways, goodbye. Hold on a second! Is this supposed to be some kind of joke? I'm your daughter! You can't just walk away from me! I'm sorry, but I've already told you that I don't have a daughter. We're just strangers to each other, remember? Wait, no, you're not really going to abandon me, are you? I didn't know Dad doesn't make any more, and he's so mad at me for sending the divorce papers. He's so scary and angry all the time now. I don't understand what happened. So I guess you finally understand the kind of man your father is now. What do you mean by that? I mean that I was always trying to protect you from him, but maybe that was my mistake. Because he took advantage of that and lied to you about me instead. But I had no idea he was that kind of person. I thought that my dad was kind and sweet, and what should I do now? He doesn't have money, he doesn't work, he doesn't do anything but gamble and drink. I suppose you'd better find a job and start working then. But I'm still in high school. I could only work a part-time job at best, and I have no idea how I'm supposed to go to college at this rate. Yeah, and to think you wouldn't have had to take out any loans if I was still around. What do you mean? You're not going to send me to college either? Well, I had a whole college fund saved up for my daughter, but since we're no longer family, I'm afraid that I can't pass that on to you. So I'm afraid the only option left for you now is to work for your money. Mom, please, you have to help me! Please don't call me Mom. I already told you that I don't have any children. You and I are nothing to each other now, and I owe you nothing. You wanted it this way despite my attempts to warn you, and now you need to take responsibility. You're almost 18, so consider this your first real life lesson. But I had no idea that Dad was lying to me! This isn't fair! How was I supposed to know that you were making all the money in our house? I tried to tell you the truth over and over again, but you just refused to listen to me. Well, then can I at least come and live with you? I hate living with Dad. He's so scary all the time. I'm so sorry for everything that I said to you. I'm afraid that I have a policy against letting strangers stay in my house. Besides, how do I know that you won't just fall into your old ways of looking down on me and insulting me all the time? But I need your help! I don't know what else to do! Well then, take your first step as an adult and figure out what to do. Good luck, stranger! In the end, Tina realized that I was only ever trying to tell her the truth, and that it was her father who was lying to her this whole time. It was quite a shock for her to realize this, and she fell into a deep depression afterwards. Shocked by learning about her father's true nature and forced to start working to take care of herself, Tina ended up dropping out of high school and working to sustain herself and her father. She tried to message me asking for help, but I had already blocked her on everything by then. I do plan on stepping in to help her eventually, but if I'm going to pour all my money and heart into raising her, I think Tina needs to learn some lessons about the real world before I put her back on track.